We have a situation. We have a situation to deal with. We have a problem now where you have too many snakes in the Dennery Basin. And now what you have is you have incidences of snake bite. There are two people that I know of who have been bitten by snakes probably within the last month. Now in a small population like that, it is just too high. Too high. Now, what I'm hearing is that the people are saying that the forestry people, some forestry people are saying that they're not supposed to be killing the snakes. Again, concerning that one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any forestry people or department told the people not to kill the snakes. I'm not sure if that is actually true. But I remember some years ago, there was some guy, some forestry worker who was passing around the place. And it looked like he was doing some kind of interview kind of thing, trying to find out how much people know about snakes and this kind of things. And one of the things that he was telling us is that people are not supposed to kill the snakes. And I told him then, and I'm going to tell them now if I have to, that there is no way I will come across a snake, especially if I feel that my life is being threatened, or if I feel like the snake is too aggressive or whatever. If I feel like I'm cornered, there is no way that I will not kill that snake if I have the tools to do it. Especially if I have a spade, shovel, spade, and any one of them try to be aggressive or come too close, or if I perceive any threat of injury to myself, I'm going to kill the snake. The only way it will escape is if, for example, it goes into some kind of heavy bush, and I believe that if I go to the bush area, I will be at a disadvantage where the animal can maneuver better than me, and I may not be able to see it. I will not take a chance. But any other opportunity that I get, I'm going to get rid of the snake. I'm going to kill the snake. So these forestry people, it is alleged, because I mean, different people have been telling me about the forestry people saying not to kill the snake. Now I know it was a situation where people were not killing the boas. All of us know we're not supposed to kill the boas. But you can have a situation where you know that they are, listen to me right now. I've been telling you people on a number of occasions in previous videos that people have abandoned their farmlands. People are not farming. And so what happened is, like, you have really a serious proliferation of these poisonous snakes on farms in places that you never had problems with these snakes. You're now seeing them in these places now. You're hearing of sightings of these snakes in places that you never used to hear of these snakes. Now, one of the things I believe that the people in the ministry need to do too, you need to tell people about the snakes in terms of the behavioral aspects of the snakes, because a lot of people have a mythical idea of what of snakes, and they believe that snakes are all powerful, and they believe that these snakes are just too capable of doing harm to them. I remember many years ago there was a guy who was talking about snakes, and I was listening to him because I didn't really know too much about this thing. I was young at that time. And it is around the area they called, around the area, the mountain over Fonda, Montfoy or someplace like that, they calling it. The guy was telling us that if the snake is on the top of the hill and you approaching the hill from the bottom coming up, even if the snake is on another side, it will come to the side that you are coming up to attack you, to kill you. And these things are not true. There are a lot of misconceptions and myths about snakes that people are entertaining, and a lot of people are thinking that these things are true, and they are not true at all. And I believe that especially now with the proliferation of snakes that we have here right now, it is fitting that the forestry people have advertisements or public awareness campaigns or whatever concerning snakes. Now, these are the things I don't really like about Saint Lucia. There's always a protection and a preference for rich people and big business, and it's like when it comes to poor people, or the ordinary people, they just treat people like they're stupid and just say any foolishness to the people. You telling people are being bitten by snakes now, and it is alleged that you're trying to tell people to not kill the snakes. When they were constructing that hotel, the hotel by Poale, we all know that Poale, that place again, is heavily infested. Did you all go and tell them rich people not to kill the snakes? Did you people go and tell these rich people that were building this the hotel? I think it was called La Paradis or something like that, but the hotel they were building at Poale. Did the forestry people go there and tell these people not to kill the snakes? Because I can prove to you, I can take a group of people and come and prove to you that they were killing snakes when they were making La Paradis Hotel. They were killing snakes there. When they were constructing the Roseau Dam, did the forestry people go and tell the workers there, do not kill snakes there? Did your forestry people go and tell the people, do not kill snakes when they were building the Roseau Dam? When they were building the hotel at Poale, did you all go there and tell them not to kill the snakes? But poor people trying to make a living, going in the forest and plant their food. It is alleged that you're telling the people that they're not supposed to kill snakes. So it is only big business, big government business, big foreign companies that can kill snakes in this country. When they perceive the snake is a threat to them, they can kill it. But once it's a poor person, a poor farmer, you're giving them a different story. But I'm just going to behave as if that is not true. I will behave as if the ministry, the forestry people never told the farmers and the poor people to not to kill the snakes. I will behave as if they never said that. As for me, I can tell you, I am prepared. I am prepared if it is that I have to spend time in the prison for killing snakes. I can guarantee you that if I find any snake in my way, if in anything that I'm trying to do, I will kill them. You have a proliferation of snakes and you expect people to just let snakes run away and then kill them in the end? And there's always some foolishness coming from some people. From the time we were small, we were growing up, we learned that during the time of slavery, some slaves were running away into the mountains. They brought in these poisonous snakes. These things were not here. These things were brought in so that they can attack and kill the runaway slaves. When these snakes started coming back and deal with the people who brought them, they brought in the mangoes to control the population. There's a guy who was working in forestry. Last time I heard a man on some program trying to tell people that story is not so. What these guys, I don't know, some of these guys are getting paid. Some of these guys, I believe some of these guys are getting paid by some organizations to talk this kind of thing. So it's almost like they're trying to rewrite our history. You see, anytime atrocities against our people, what happened is these big countries are trying to clean it up. The bad things they did to the slaves, they're trying to clean it up, to try to make it look like they didn't do all these bad things. So they're trying to rewrite history. But who they're using, these same fellas, these same black people, coming and trying to tell us that the history that we know to be true is not true. A guy that was working in forestry, I know his name, but I choose not to dignify him by mentioning his name in my vibe. But these are the fellas, educated people always being used to oppress their own people. In the time of slavery, they were using them to whip people on the estate, but now they're using their education to try to manipulate people, trying to erase the history. Some of the problem we have is some of these departments, some of these institutions, they want to copy things directly, wholesale from what they see happening in North America. Just copy things and bring it in your country where it does not fit. The people have resources and people in place to handle situations for them. It is not uncommon when somebody if somebody has a snake on their farm or even in their house or whatever, there are numbers that they can call. Sometimes the government numbers. There are other private contractors that deal in snake handling, that they will come to the people's houses, to the people's farm, and get the snakes and put them in some kind of receptacle and take it to another location. You understand? But these things are not happening. You're on your farm, you're attacked by a snake or you see a snake. If you were to call forestry people, you think the forestry people would dispatch somebody to come to your farm to get the snake? Huh? You have fellas who see around on their farm in a day sometimes 5 snakes. 5 snakes. You think they'll call forestry people and tell them to come and catch these 5 snakes that we have? In a small population, in a small area like that, we having 2 people being bit by snakes, and you hear nothing about that. 2 people with snake bites. 2 in just a little area like that. And the best the forestry people can do is to tell the people that they're not supposed to kill the snakes. Don't kill the snakes. Because the snakes, the survival of the snake is more important than the survival of the people. The survival of the snake is more important than the livelihood of the people. And all of the things that the argument that you may come with, you may say that you have to protect your biodiversity. The benefits that you can derive from the snake. Even the venom, I heard that they use it to make captopril. Is a pressure drug. We know all of that. But at the expense of the life of the people, do you all really know the amount of snakes that they have? Man, do you all really know that there are people that are killing up to 5 snakes on their farms? They never used to have them problems before. But now they have to be killing 5 snakes the same day on their farms. And the best thing you have to do, don't kill the snakes, don't kill the snakes, don't kill them. Put things in place, put mechanisms in place. Let people see that you're actually trying, that you're actually interested in actually even protecting the snakes that you say you want to protect. Of the people that were who got bitten by the snakes, the forestry people, how many of you are the forestry people who are allegedly telling people do not kill the snakes? How many of you all actually went to the hospitals or to the people homes and ask them questions? Yeah, did you see the snake before it bite you? Did you see it after? What was the color of the snake? When it hit you, what did it do? Did it run away? What happened? How did you feel after you got the bite? Did your forestry people ever come to these patients and ask them what happened to them? How did the thing go down? The only thing you all can do allegedly is to go and tell people that they're not supposed to kill snakes. That's the best you all can do. That's the most you all can do. Again, I'm telling you people, we have to follow the laws of the country. And I do not think that not killing snake thing is a law here. I do not believe that. I know for the constrictor, most likely, that is not a law in the country. But even if it were a law, first of all, concerning laws, the Bible says that we have to honor the laws of the country. Okay. But if the law is going to go against my safety, if the law is an unjust law to me, I'm going to break it publicly. So this thing, even if they put it into law right now with the amount of snakes that we have now, with the fact that these lands have been abandoned and there's a proliferation of snakes, even if there is a law saying that you're not supposed to kill snakes, if I feel threatened by the snakes, I promise I'm going to kill them. And if it is a situation where if they ever enact a law saying that you mustn't kill the snakes, if you have if you have such a large population, and I feel threatened, and I feel that my life is at risk, I'm going to still kill them. And if it is that after killing the snakes, they probably find out and they arrest me and they put me out bodily, I will gladly go to prison. Gladly. Gladly. Number one, I'm not going to follow and observe any unjust law. Any unjust law, according to Malcolm X, I'm not going to observe that. I'm not going to observe any law that is going to be injurious to me. I'm not going to observe that. And I'm not going to observe any stupid law neither. There's a lot of foolishness coming from these forestry people, some of them. And again, it is always poor people they target with their sayings. Again, I'm going to remind you, when the guys were building the hotel at Poile, I know they were killing snakes there. Okay? People who were working there killing snakes told me that they were doing that. Did y'all ever tell these hotel people not to kill snakes at La Paradis? Did y'all ever tell them that they're not supposed to kill the snakes? When they were building the Roseau Dam, did y'all ever tell them, no, please don't kill any snakes? But every papi show them people have to come with is something that has to be targeted at poor people. Every foolishness these people have to do is to target poor people. Now the thing is, people will say, why am I talking like that? Being so crude and harsh. The thing is, all my life, I've seen this kind of disrespect for poor people all my life, and I never really said anything. Sometimes you're too small to talk. From the time I was a child, I've been seeing these injustices. People allow other rich people, companies to do whatever they want. In this country I'm talking about. But they always have laws against poor people. The other thing is the educated class that we have here, they are very intelligent when it comes to looking for opportunities for foreigners. Try to engineer laws to protect foreign investors and all of that. But when it comes to their own people, they have no idea, no clue, no plans. People, let me tell you something. You have to farm the land. A lot of these lands have been abandoned. We cannot allow our money that we can use here to go overseas to buy food that we can produce here. When you produce food here, the money circulates within the country and within the community. People can have money to send their children to school. People can have money to pay bills. People can have money to do those things. So it is very important that we go back to these farms and start cultivating, producing things that people can sell, that people can consume. Sometimes what the problem I see with farming is too many people plant the same thing. You'll get a farmer who say, you know what, I made $12,000 in watermelons. Other fellas planting other crops, you know, they will leave what they're doing and go and plant watermelons because they heard that a man made $12,000. You have to grow things based on the soil type that you have. Based on the soil type. Based on the availability of water. Based on the amount of labor that you have. But you do not just do things based on what you see everybody else is doing. But the most important thing is, I'm encouraging people, let's go back to farming, cultivating the land, because all these lands used to be heavily cultivated. And anytime you see all these farm areas are being turned back into forests and grasslands, that means that the country is using millions of dollars every year, every month, and that means we are sending millions of dollars overseas to buy food that we can produce here. So we need to go back to the land and start farming. And as it relates to them snakes, do not be if you're going to be if you have to cultivate There are simple things that you can do even if you before you go and actually clear the land. There are simple things that you can do. That you can just take a sponge. Take pieces of sponge, soak the sponge and put gasoline in the, soak the sponge in gasoline and gas, and you can put it in a plastic bag. Put some holes in it, and just send that at different areas on the farm, and it will, some of them will move away. They just cannot take the smell of gas. They cannot take the smell of gas, and they will just start moving away. So when they start moving, then you can go on the land and you can start clearing the land. That you can use that option. Okay, but the thing is, you must not let snakes prevent us from producing things. We know that some of these areas that where we never used to have snakes, I am telling you that some of these places have snakes now. So you have to be very careful. And some people used to, you do not go in those places without boots. The boots that the farmers have, the long boots, try to get those things to go on these farms, especially if you're clearing them, if you're going on them fresh after a long period of abandonment. And when you're moving, when you're operating, be careful, be observant, But there are more of these things now than you used to have before. If it is that the people never told you that, no ministry or government person ever told you that, but I'm telling you for a fact, I know what I'm talking about. There are much more snakes now than before. And now they're getting closer to where people live. And these days, in the Dennery Basin, these snakes are being killed close to where people live. Some of these things are being killed in people's yards, in places where you never used to have these things before. But somehow they're not telling you all those things. But that is not supposed to be putting any fear inside of you. You're not supposed to be afraid of these animals like that. But do not listen to these people when they tell you, do not kill them, do not do that. The population is too high. I remember when I was a little boy, the Lakai police station, there were certain times of the year, there was that arrangement where people who would find snakes or kill them, whatever, they would bring the snake head to the police station and they would give them a certain amount of money. I was a little child when that was happening, and I believe the reason why they were doing that, it was because they noticed that at certain periods of time, the snake population would be too high. But what we have now, allegedly, is that some fellas come in and tell people that they're not supposed to be killing snakes. Whereas the snakes now are affecting the people. There are people with farms who are afraid to go now. They are afraid to go. There are people who actually stop farming in certain places because they're afraid of the snakes. And you try not to tell people do not kill snakes. But this, do not do this, do not do that. That is always, it is very easy for some of these guys to just tell poor people, you cannot do this. They feel like they can tell the poor people whatever they want. But they will never say those things to these other big people. Why y'all never went and tell these hotel people that were building the Parliament Hotel? Why did y'all never went and tell them that they're not supposed to kill the snakes? And they were killing snakes there every day. But y'all have the gall. Y'all feel that you can come and tell farmers and poor people, do not kill the snakes. It is alleged. Don't listen to them people. If you feel that your life is at risk, if you feel like, these things will prevent you from farming on your place, you have to make a decision whether you're going to listen to them people telling you not to kill them, or you're going to get rid of them things so you will be able to farm to produce some food so that you'll be able to buy, pay your bills and help your children or whoever, or people that you want to help. But don't let fellas try to tell you do not kill snakes and do not do that, and then you have to farm. How are you going to make your money to pay your bills and to do your thing? People think. As for me, them snakes, worst case scenario for them is if you see I have a shovel. That's my tool self for them, a shovel. Some people say a goal. That goal is some. Everybody know what a goal is. Some people, that's their tool. A goal. Once they have their goal, they're safe. But for me, once I have a spade, all right. We'll talk. Don't let them people make you make stupid decisions. They only tell those things to poor people. Keep the fire burning.